Hello Formula 1 and IndyCar fans. Welcome to Formula Pun Racer. I'm your host, Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders. Today is January 29th, 2021. First off, I'd like to say, I heard about the news about Cloris Leachman. It sucks. I loved her in SOS Titanic and Herbie Goes Bananas in History of the World Part 1, among other things. 94, whew, what a good run she had. I was wondering what would happen. Godspeed, Cloris. We miss you. But now to get on to IndyCar news. I can say that it is unfortunate with the pandemic continuing to take its stranglehold on the world and nothing's changed. Will the Indy 500 go as planned as it should in Memorial Day weekend? Or will it be pushed back to August or not even be held at all? Now that's the question. Or even more so, will it be held with fans unlike last year? Oh boy, that is something that it's hard to think about but we can't ignore. On top of it all, because of the pandemic continuing to make things impossible if not difficult for us all, continuing to give us the headache it does, it seems that the IndyCar season debut, which is supposed to be at Barber Park, which is supposed to take place on April 11th, has been pushed back by a week. Oh. Yeah, April 18th is when the Barber Park race should start, assuming no more interruptions or interference by this doggone coronavirus. It seems that when I mentioned in one of my previous videos about Penske hosting a fifth entry for the Indianapolis 500, it's going to be quite the team of boys to go against Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, Simon Pagenaud, and Joseph Newgarden.
They never come back as boys.
Apparently they're not coming there as boys, they're coming there as girls in fact. It is the Beth Paretta racing team, an all-female crew, and their driver is the Swiss missile, Simona di Silvestro from Switzerland. She's coming back to IndyCar racing after spending a few years in the V8 Supercar Racing Series in Australia. So this ought to be good. This could be her best chance yet to win with Penske's support, as Penske is usually the best in the business. And, well, Simona, if you win this one, the Swiss hills will be alive and yodeling with the sounds of victory. I hope you become the first female driver to drink the milk. As for Beth Paretta, you might be thinking, if she were to win this as a team owner, would she be the first in Indy 500 history too? Apparently, actually, no. The first and only female team owner to win the Indy 500 to date is 1929. Maud Yeagle was the team owner that gave its driver Ray Keech of Coatesville, Pennsylvania, their first and only win. Sadly, as for Ray Keech, he became one of the few drivers, along with Dan Weldon, George Robson, Gaston Chevrolet, and Boyer, to die the same year they would win the Indy 500, as he died, sadly enough, 16 days after winning the Indy 500 in a racing crash in Tipton, Pennsylvania. And how about that? If there's one thing I know about Coatesville, one of my aunts used to live in Coatesville before she moved to Honeybrook. But that's another story. Let's just say, if there's anything I know personally about Coatesville, that's it. Now, to get back to the pandemic on how it's causing a lot of hardships, will it let fans go to the Indy 500 like me? I hope it lets up so we can, because, hey, we fans spent a lot of money to do this. I mean, like, there's nothing better than to be able to go to the Indy 500, cheer on our favorite drivers, and have a good time. Although I can imagine if there's any bands in the IMS's infield snake pit, I don't think that's going to happen at all this year. But imagine if there was. Imagine the hangovers that some of the rowdiest of fans would get. Yeah, it's a good thing that the bathrooms, among other things around the track, have been upgraded severely by Roger Penske. Thank you very much. But if the pandemic means we can't go to the Indy 500 again, oh boy, imagine the frustrations we're going to be saddled with.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Just thinking about, like, having to miss the Indy 500 again for a second year in a row because of this is definitely gets my blood boiling.
Anything from the trolley, dears?
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Mason. I'll take this. Thank you. Oh yeah, and there's one thing I like to mention. For all the times I use that ancient boer from The Princess Bride, and that trolley ladies you just saw there, for those who don't know, that is in fact the same woman who portrayed both of them. Like, her name is Marjorie Mason. Sadly, about a week ago from this day, actually 6 days ago from this day, marks the 7th anniversary of her passing. She was 100 years old. I know, quite a good run Marjorie Mason had. I'm sure she was a great British lady, and I'm sure, there's more to her than being that ancient booer in The Princess Bride and, being that trolley lady from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. 100 years old. Whew, what a run she had. And here's an interesting fact. I read she got her scuba diving license and certificate at the age of 81. Oh! It just goes to show you are never too old to obtain wonderful accomplishments. Go Marjorie Mason, and we will miss you. Godspeed. Well, anyway, to get back to IndyCar racing news, it seems that Dale Coyne Racing will partner up with Ware Racing for the 2nd year in a row, but not just at the Indy 500, but the full season. Ed Jones will be replacing Santino Ferrucci in the full-time number 18 seat at Dale Coyne, while Romain Grosjean, Cody Ware, Rick Ware's son, and James Davison will split duties throughout the season. Unfortunately, as for Romain Grosjean, he's going to be like Jimmy Johnson at Ganassi, doing only the road and street courses only, no Indy 500. Apparently, ever since his fiery crash at Bahrain, this has been his opinion about racing in the Indy 500. Yeah, it is unfortunate, isn't it? I hope he'll reconsider in the future. Jimmy Johnson too, because hey, winning the Indy 500 has a lot more valor when you win it compared to anything you win in Formula 1. I hope you'll reconsider, Romain and Jimmy, because, hey, think about it. The glory, that's something no NASCAR race or F1 race could ever be blessed with. So, please reconsider. And it's interesting about Cody Ware, because if he were to qualify for the Indy 500, he would in fact be the first driver diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome to race in the Indy 500. And it's interesting because I too have Asperger's syndrome, so Cody, if you're watching this, I understand the struggles, both mental and social, that you might have had to endure up to now, and I'm still struggling in my own personal ways, and it's not pleasant. Ow!
What'd you say?
But, Cody, I will be cheering you on ever since I found this out about you, and the fact that you're driving a Honda also helps make it work too. And, no offense if you don't like this joke, but hopefully you're ready for the wear and tear. In any case, Cody, I'm sure you're not the worst for wear. You're getting started. You're going to race, and you're going to do well, and I hope your sponsors and paint job are quite the eye-catchers too, but we'll see what happens when we come to that. Oh, and for Formula E fans, a little electrifyingly, the first round is February 27th and 8th, a doubleheader in Saudi Arabia, night race in Riyadh. Let's see if Audi or BMW in their final season in Formula E can win something, or can someone else take top honors. Let's see how that pans out. Well, that's it for now. Join me as the racing season begins. And if you like my channels, click and subscribe to Formula Pun Racer. Thank you for all who've supported and subscribed to me. See you later. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.